Welcome back, friends, to another video on MongoDB Atlas cluster. In this video, I'm going to share that why there is a need of upgrading a cluster from a flex cluster to a dedicated cluster. Maybe a lower version of dedicated cluster, but why we should update, why we should consider upgrading our cluster from either free tier or flex cluster to a dedicated one. There are so many benefits which it brings. So I'm going to show you some of those. So on screen, if you see here, first of all, if you want to monitor your cluster real time, I'm talking about MongoDB Atlas cluster here, which is on cloud. So if you are not aware about MongoDB Flex cluster, there is another video which I have recorded on Flex cluster specifically, how to create that, what is that, and all those. So if we want to have real-time monitoring, it is not possible with Flex cluster. So we have to upgrade it to the dedicated cluster to get benefit of this real-time monitoring. And another thing is Performance Advisor. It gives us recommendation on schema and indexes. If we have applied the successful or the best practices for indexes and schema, it analyzes that and it gives us some recommendations. So for this is also not available in Flex cluster or free tier. Another thing which is very important is that we don't want to lose data with Flex cluster or free tier, right? Because with Flex cluster, the backup policy is to have a backup once in every 24 hours. But what if we have to take a backup within 24 hours or maybe every hour or every 30 minutes, right? Then it is not possible with Flex cluster. Why I'm saying that is because the data is very critical. So you might be having some test applications where Flex cluster is okay, but where the data is so important that we cannot afford losing the data, or during those 24 hours, the data is so much in our system that we will not be able to compensate its value with the amount of data lost, right? For example, let us say I am recording this video now and last backup was taken yesterday at the same time. During that time, during this 24 hours, if let us say there are 10,000 transactions recorded into my database, it could be create, read, update, or anything, right? So then I will not be able to leverage that. If I have somehow lost my data or cluster access, or there is some corruption or something bad happened to my database, right? So I will not be able to do that, recover that data. That is another reason we want to upgrade our cluster. If you need more control over timing and expiration of your backup, update to cluster, dedicated cluster, which is M10 plus. This is the beginning or initial version of that dedicated version. Let us click on this upgrade cluster. For now, I will go with M10 option. In separate video, I will talk about how to create a dedicated cluster on M30. There is nothing much difference. Only thing is horizontal scaling via shards is an added feature in M30. Along with that, more storage, more RAM, more number of vCPU, which can be scaled up or down as per the requirement. But for now, I'm sticking with M10. Editing this configuration, dedicated is selected. Cluster configuration, I don't want to make it global. I will cover this in a separate video that how we can create a global cluster which is available for M30 and up. Cloud provider, I'm selecting AWS for now, and region also I can select any one of these regions. So recommendation is that you select that region which is close to your application server or where your users are, right? The region or the nearest region where your users are going to access that application from. For now, I have selected M10. Storage can be anything between 10 GB to 128 GB. Auto scaling, cluster auto scaling is another option. So I want to scale it to up to M30. There are many options, right? Allow cluster to scale down also. This is minimum cluster tier of applicable. I want to scale the storage also, auto scale the storage. It will keep a check if 90% of disk capacity is used, it will auto expand that capacity. Or I can disable it also, but for now I am enabling it. And after that, which version? Turn on cloud backup. That also I am. This option is available now to us. Backup is very important. Continuous cloud backup. Again, another option we can turn it off or on based upon our requirement. That also I'm going to cover in a separate video, but this is the cost, tentative cost, which it is showing that 0.14 dollars per GB month, right? It can vary based upon the type of hyperscaler is selected, cloud provider, right? It can vary from AWS to Google, or based upon the region also it can vary. For terminate protection, I am enabling it. Shard your cluster, again available in M30 and up. More configuration options, I'm not going into that detail. And review changes. Make sure that you review this carefully. Original is Flex. This is the configuration, and new is this AWS M10. AWS is this cloud provider here with this configuration. 10 GB storage, auto scale, auto expand storage enabled, right? So this is what is available. Apply changes, and after some time, maybe 7-10 minutes, it will be updated. And also it depends upon the amount of data you have in your Flex cluster. It may take a little more time also or lesser time also. For now, I'm going to pause this video and I will come back once this is upgraded to show you that which features are available now. As you can see here, that cluster has been upgraded. It shows dedicated here. Cluster tier M10, replica set active, backups active, right? Let us go inside this and see. So now you can see that anytime I can take a backup. Let us start this backup now. Take snapshot now. How many days I want to keep it, retain it, right? It could be 6, 7 days or whatever number of days I want to keep it, right? So for now, I am keeping it for 1 days. Test. So now, if you see here, the backup has been taken, snapshot has been taken of my database. The time created, it is saying this, that so and so date and time. Frequency on demand description. If we look at this test snapshot for demo, retention is 1 day. Now action, what I can do is restore or download or delete, right? Any of these three actions I can perform on this particular snapshot. Restore and downloads. Right now, no restore, no download available. What I will do is I will download this, right? And click on download, close, and I will restore also at the same time so that we are able to see it. And I will restore it to this particular project, and maybe let us say I want to store it to Flex cluster, and I will say I agree, restore. Right now it should start appearing here, restore and downloads. You can see that at this time and date, automated restore, restore type snapshot, manual download. I started both of these. It is preparing both download and restore parallelly. Now, the biggest difference which I want to show you here is backup policy. If you remember in Flex clusters, we don't have any control over backup policy. It was automatic once in every 24 hours. But here we can change that, right? We can have it based upon our own requirement of the application, business, whatever, right? So it will work accordingly. So this I'm going to cover in a separate video as a part of the series of backup and restore. I have already shown you how to back up data from Flex cluster, how to restore the data from to Flex cluster, right? So there will be a separate video covering backup policy, uh, how to apply that policy, all those things, continuous backup option for the dedicated cluster. So with this, I hope you have liked this video and you will find it useful. Thank you so much for watching this video so patiently. Wish you happy learning. Thank you. Take care.